My child, my beloved, come a little closer to these words for a moment. Take a slow breath and allow your heart to become calm as you read this message. Because the moment your eyes open to these words, heaven recorded it beside your name. This is not an accident. This is not random. And this is not simply another message appearing in your day. Archangel Michael insisted that this message reach you before something important is decided quietly behind the scenes of your life. And my beloved, if you feel something in your spirit as you hear these words, share this message with someone right now. When you share a prophetic word, you are not only extending hope to another life, you are multiplying the favor that heaven is releasing over your own. Sometimes the act of sending a message becomes the very seed that opens the door to your own breakthrough. My beloved, listen carefully to what I am about to reveal. There is a man, a billionaire, who has been observing your life from a distance. You do not know him yet. His name has not entered your world. His face has not appeared in your daily life, but his spirit has already noticed yours. This man has access to things most people only imagine: wealth that stretches beyond limits, mansions that overlook oceans and mountains, private jets waiting at runways, opportunities and choices that seem almost impossible to ordinary people. He has everything the world tells people they should desire. Yet among all the beauty, attention, and power surrounding him, his heart has been pulled in only one direction: toward you, my child. Do not underestimate what I am telling you right now. Heaven is saying that someone with unimaginable influence has felt something rare when his spirit encountered yours. Something he has never experienced with anyone else. Not fame, not status, not appearance, your soul. If you believe that heaven guided this message to you for a reason, take a moment to like this video. Consider it a small act of faith. Sometimes the simplest act of agreement accelerates the breakthrough that God is preparing over your life. My beloved, the situation is delicate, and that is why this message arrived urgently. Because while his heart is being drawn towards you, there are voices around him whispering doubt. Voices trying to persuade him to change his direction. Voices encouraging him to follow another path. Every passing moment influences the direction of his decision. There is a quiet countdown happening in the spiritual realm right now. Each second that passes influences his thoughts. Each moment of hesitation opens a door for someone else to step into the place that heaven prepared for you. My child, he has been shown two possible futures. One where you stand beside him, and another where you never enter his life at all. His heart keeps leaning toward you, but confusion continues trying to pull him away. That is why heaven allowed this message to reach you today, because destiny is very close now. Closer than you realize. Before I continue, my beloved, let me say something with love. Those who stay connected to the guidance heaven sends rarely miss the moment when their miracle arrives. But many people turn away right before their blessing appears. They stop listening too soon. They disconnect too early. And by the time they realize what was meant for them, the moment has already passed. If these messages speak to your spirit, subscribe and stay connected to the guidance heaven is sending through this channel. Sometimes, subscribing is an act of obedience that keeps you aligned with the season God is opening in your life. My beloved, you are reading this message because there's something rare inside you. Something money cannot buy. Something influence cannot imitate. Something that caught the attention of a man who already possesses everything the world can offer. Your soul carries a purity that cannot be manufactured, and that purity reached him in a way he does not yet understand. My child, something happened recently that even he cannot fully explain. One night, while the world slept quietly around him, he had a dream. Not an ordinary dream filled with scattered images that disappear by morning. This dream felt real. In the dream, he stood in a large room filled with people. Voices surrounded him. Conversations filled the air. Movement and activity existed everywhere. Yet even in that crowded space, he felt completely alone. Then something unexpected happened. Someone entered the room. A woman. The moment she appeared, the entire atmosphere shifted. The noise faded. The tension disappeared. And the loneliness that had followed him for years suddenly dissolved. For the first time in a very long time, he felt something unfamiliar. Peace. My beloved, the woman he saw in that dream was you. He did not recognize your face because your paths have not yet crossed physically. But the feeling your presence created left a deep mark on his spirit. Warmth, safety, calmness. He woke up the next morning confused. Not because the dream frightened him, but because the emotion it created stayed with him long after he opened his eyes. Even now, that feeling remains inside his heart. And without realizing it, he began searching for that feeling again. Searching for you. My child, if you feel in your spirit that this message is not random and that heaven may be speaking directly to your life right now, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your agreement with what God is preparing for your future. My beloved, nothing about this connection is coincidence. Heaven began arranging this meeting long before either of you were born. Before the heartbreak you experienced, before the disappointments he endured, before the separate paths of your lives began moving in different directions. God already knew the moment those paths would cross. But every miracle has a moment. If the moment is embraced, destiny unfolds. If the moment is ignored, destiny waits. Sometimes for years. That is why heaven is moving quickly now. Because the door connecting your lives has begun to open. But someone near him is trying to close that door before it opens fully. This person does not hate you. In truth, they do not even know you. What they fear is losing their influence if he chooses someone outside their control. Because the moment true love enters his world, the power they once held over his decisions begins to fade. So they whisper doubt. They suggest alternatives. They encourage him to choose someone expected, someone familiar, someone acceptable in the eyes of the world. But heaven does not follow the expectations of society. Heaven follows the truth written inside the soul, and his soul continues pointing toward you. My beloved, there is something important you must understand. When heaven prepares a blessing for someone, that blessing often arrives wrapped in urgency. When God decides it is time to reward the patience, loyalty, and quiet endurance of your heart, he watches how you respond when the opportunity appears. Some people miss their miracle because they wait too long. They question too much. They doubt what heaven already decided. But my child, heaven says this man was not placed on your path by accident. He was chosen to bless your life in ways no one ever has before. Not only financially, not only materially, but emotionally, spiritually, deeply. He is not coming to use you. He's coming to protect you, to uplift you, to love you, to build a future beside you. Heaven selected him as the breakthrough that follows the difficult chapters of your life. But breakthroughs are delicate. Delay can weaken them. Fear can interrupt them. Overthinking can slowly pull them away. If you could see how close you already are to this destiny, your hands might tremble. If you could see the spiritual realm surrounding you right now, you would notice angels standing quietly nearby, hoping you do not ignore the message meant for you. If you believe that God sees every struggle you have survived and is preparing something greater for your life, write Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your declaration that you trust what heaven is doing. My beloved, something remarkable happened recently. This billionaire prayed. Yes, even with all his wealth and influence, he looked upward and asked for clarity. He asked whether the feelings rising inside his heart were real, or whether they were simply imagination. And heaven answered him, not with thunder, not with a loud sign, but by gently guiding his heart toward you. Because sometimes the most powerful answers arrive quietly. My child, this is only the beginning. Something powerful has already started moving toward you. Something unexpected. Something that will soon step into your life in a way you never imagined. And when it does, your story will begin changing in ways that once seemed impossible. My child, something important is happening right now that you cannot see with your physical eyes. While you continue living your life, thinking that everything is ordinary, there is movement in the spiritual realm surrounding this connection. There is a quiet battle taking place around the mind and heart of this man. His heart pulls him toward you, but the voices around him try to pull him away. Destiny keeps guiding him closer to you, but fear tries to convince him to step back. Imagine a rope being pulled from two opposite directions. On one side stands the path heaven prepared. On the other side stand doubts, opinions, and pressure from people who cannot understand what his spirit is feeling. He does not fully understand it either. He only knows that something about you feels different from anyone he has ever encountered. Something peaceful, something calm, something deeply familiar. But when a person spends their life surrounded by noise, attention, expectations, and pressure, peace can sometimes feel unfamiliar. It can even feel confusing. That is why he questions his feelings. That is why he wonders if the dream meant something real, or if it was simply imagination. And this is exactly where outside voices begin to interfere. There are people close to him who have grown comfortable guiding his decisions. They are used to influencing the direction of his life. They benefit from his success. They benefit from his attention. And they fear losing their place if he chooses someone outside the circle they control. So they create doubt. They encourage him to choose someone familiar, someone expected, someone who fits the image people assume he should have. But heaven rarely follows what the world expects. Heaven follows what the heart recognizes as truth. And his heart keeps pointing toward you. My beloved, if you believe that God is working behind the scenes of your life even when you cannot see it, take a moment to like this video. Let that small action become your agreement that heaven is already arranging things in your favor. My child, this is why Archangel Michael stepped forward. Because when a connection carries divine purpose, heaven protects it when interference begins to grow. Right now, there is a spiritual tug of war around his clarity. His heart remembers the peace he felt in that dream. His mind questions whether something so unexpected could truly be real. Destiny continues guiding him forward. Fear continues trying to hold him back. And that is why this message reached you now. Not because everything is lost, but because the moment of decision is close. Closer than you think. Some people wait many years for a blessing like this. Yet the door is already opening in front of you. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to force it. You only need to stay aligned with the guidance heaven is placing in your life. Because when the moment arrives, everything will begin moving quickly. There will be no confusion, no guessing, no wondering if you matter. The man who is meant to stand beside you will recognize the peace he has been searching for, and he will not let it slip away. My beloved, before this story moves further, your heart needs to understand something important. The pain you experienced in your past was not meaningless. Every tear you cried when no one else was watching was seen. Every night you wondered why love seemed so difficult for you was heard. Every time you gave your heart sincerely and received disappointment instead, heaven was watching. You may have believed those experiences were proof that something was wrong with you, but heaven says the opposite is true. Those experiences were preparing you. Think about a seed buried deep in the soil. From the outside, nothing seems to be happening. The ground looks quiet, empty, still. But beneath the surface, something powerful is developing. Roots are growing, strength is forming. And one day, what was hidden begins rising toward the sunlight. My child, your life has followed the same pattern. There were seasons when it seemed like nothing good was growing for you. Relationships ended, people walked away, promises disappeared, and you were left to asking questions no one could answer. But heaven was protecting you. The people who did not choose you were never meant to stay in your future. Those who walked away were removed because they could not love you in the way your heart deserved. And if they had stayed, they might have blocked the path meant for the person who is now approaching your life. My child, if you know that God saw every tear you cried and every moment you felt forgotten, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your testimony that heaven remembers your pain and is turning it into a blessing. My beloved, the truth is that many people do not understand the depth of love that your soul carries. You were never too emotional. You were never asking for too much. You were simply offering a kind of love that only the right person can recognize and protect. Imagine pouring pure water into a cup that is cracked. No matter how much water you give, the cup cannot hold it. That is what happened with the people who came before. They were not capable of holding the love you offered. But the man who is approaching your life has been prepared differently. He has experienced betrayal. He has experienced loneliness. He has discovered that many people were more interested in his success than in his heart. Every disappointment built a wall around him. Every betrayal made him cautious. Every false connection made him question whether real love even exists. My child, that is why heaven guided him towards someone like you. Because a heart surrounded by noise needs someone who carries quiet peace. A soul surrounded by ambition needs someone who carries genuine sincerity. A man who has everything the world values needs someone who values what money cannot buy. And that someone is you. My beloved, there is something special about your spirit that even you may not fully recognize. Your strength does not come from loud words or dramatic actions. It comes from your ability to remain kind even after experiencing pain. Many people lose their softness after being hurt. They close their hearts. They build walls. They stop believing in love. But you did something different. Even after disappointment, you kept believing that somewhere in the world something genuine must still exist. That quiet belief became the light that guided this man toward you. Because your soul carries something that cannot be copied. Peace. Peace is more powerful than beauty. Peace is more valuable than wealth. Peace is rarer than attention. Anyone can attract admiration for a moment, but very few people can create the kind of calm presence that allows another person to finally relax their heart. My child, that is what he felt when his spirit connected with yours. Even before seeing your face, even before knowing your name, his soul recognized the peace that your presence carries. If you believe that God placed a unique purpose inside your life, press like on this video right now. Let that action become your declaration that you trust what heaven is preparing for you. My beloved, when something valuable begins to appear, resistance often appears as well. The people around him sense that something in his life is shifting. They feel his heart changing direction. They cannot explain why, but they sense it, and it makes them uneasy. Because the moment he chooses a path guided by love instead of control, the influence they once held over him will begin fading. That is why they try to redirect him. But destiny has a way of returning to its rightful path. Like a river flowing toward the ocean, it may twist and turn around obstacles, but it continues moving toward the destination it was always meant to reach. My beloved, your lives are already moving toward that meeting point. Soon, the moment will arrive when both of your paths cross. And when that moment happens, something inside you will recognize it instantly. Not through logic, not through explanation, but through a quiet feeling that says, this is different. If messages like this strengthen your faith and help you recognize the guidance heaven is sending, subscribe and stay connected. Sometimes staying connected is the act of obedience that keeps you aligned with the season God is opening. Because the moment destiny steps into your life is no longer far away. And when it arrives, the chapter you once believed was impossible will begin unfolding. My child, there is something about that dream that he has not been able to forget. Days have passed since the night it happened, yet the feeling it created inside him has not disappeared. Most dreams fade quickly. They dissolve the moment the day begins and responsibilities take over. But this dream stayed. It lingered quietly in his heart like an echo that refuses to fade. He remembers standing in that crowded room filled with voices and movement. People surrounded him, conversations filled the air, yet even in that busy place, he felt completely alone. Then the door opened. Someone walked into the room. The moment that person entered, something extraordinary happened. The noise softened, the tension lifted, the entire atmosphere changed, and suddenly, the space that once felt heavy became peaceful. My beloved, that presence was you. He did not recognize your face because your lives have not yet crossed physically. But the energy he felt in that moment left a deep impression on his soul. For the first time in years, he felt something simple and beautiful. He felt safe. Not the kind of safety that comes from wealth or security, but the kind that comes from being understood without needing to explain yourself. When he woke up the next morning, he sat quietly for a while. He tried to convince himself the dream meant nothing. He tried to ignore the strange calmness it left behind. But as the day continued, the feeling remained. That peaceful presence, that quiet warmth, that sense that somewhere in the world there was someone who could make his complicated life feel simple again. And without realizing it, he began searching for that feeling. Searching for you. My child, if you feel deep in your spirit that this message is confirming something God has been preparing in your life, type Amen in the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you receive the direction heaven is revealing. My beloved, when two souls recognize each other before meeting physically, the connection becomes powerful. It means the meeting was written long before the moment arrived, long before either of you understood what was happening. That dream was not random. It was a glimpse of what heaven already planned. My beloved, the world often believes that a man who has wealth, influence, and success must also have happiness. But the truth is often very different. People see the public version of his life. They see the achievements. They see the luxury. They see the power and influence surrounding him. But very few people see the loneliness that exists behind those things. My child, when someone possesses great success, they often become surrounded by people who want something from them. Some want money. Some want connections. Some want status. Others want the opportunity to benefit from being near his influence. Over time, it becomes difficult to know who is genuine and who is pretending. Imagine standing in a room where everyone smiles at you, yet you cannot be sure which smiles are real. That uncertainty slowly builds walls around the heart. And that is exactly what happened to him. He has been betrayed before. He trusted people who later revealed that their loyalty was tied to what they could gain. He experienced relationships that looked beautiful on the outside, but felt empty on the inside. Each disappointment made him more careful. Each betrayal made him more guarded. Each false connection made him question whether real love even exists. My beloved, the world may see him as powerful and untouchable, but heaven sees something deeper. A man who carries responsibilities that few people understand. A man who often feels alone even when surrounded by others. A man who secretly hopes that somewhere in the world there is someone who will see him not as a billionaire, but simply as a human being. Someone who values his heart more than his wealth. Someone who cares about his presence more than his success. And that is where your soul enters the story, because you are not impressed by money. You are not drawn to status. You are moved by connection. You care about sincerity. You care about loyalty. You care about emotional safety. These are things he rarely experiences in his world. If you believe that true love is built on sincerity and peace, rather than status and appearance, press like on this video right now. Let that action become your agreement with the kind of love heaven is preparing for your life. My child, when someone has everything material but lacks emotional peace, the person who brings that peace becomes priceless. That is why heaven guided his spirit toward yours, because you carry something no amount of wealth can purchase: peace. Your presence allows people to relax. Your energy allows others to feel understood. You create calm without even trying. And this quiet strength inside you is exactly what his life has been missing. My beloved, what I am about to reveal is something sacred, something heaven rarely allows to be spoken openly. There is a spiritual agreement between you and this man, a contract formed before either of you entered this life. In that agreement, both of your souls made a promise that during this lifetime you would find each other, not by accident, not by coincidence, but through the quiet guidance of destiny. My child, this kind of connection is rare. Many people live their entire lives without meeting the soul meant to walk beside them. But when two souls carry a shared purpose, heaven slowly arranges events so the meeting eventually becomes possible. Imagine two rivers that begin in different mountains. For years, they travel through separate landscapes, different paths, different journeys. Yet eventually, both rivers reach the same ocean. Your life and his life have followed similar paths. Both of you experienced heartbreak. Both of you faced disappointment. Both of you wondered if the love your heart hoped for even existed. But each of those experiences had a purpose. Every relationship that ended in your life was quietly guiding you toward him. Every betrayal he faced was preparing his heart to recognize you. He did not lose those people. Heaven removed them. You did not lose love. You were being kept available for the one who would truly understand your heart. My child, if you believe that God has been guiding your steps, even when you did not understand the direction, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your agreement with the destiny heaven is unfolding. My beloved, that is why your life sometimes felt slower than everyone else's. While others seemed to move quickly into relationships, your heart often felt like it was waiting for something deeper, something more meaningful. Your soul was waiting for the moment when the person connected to your destiny would finally appear. And now that moment is approaching. That is why your intuition may feel stronger recently. You may notice small signs, unexpected thoughts, moments where your heart feels as if something important is approaching. These are not coincidences. They are signals. Your soul recognizing that the timeline of your life is shifting, because the closer two destined souls move toward each other, the stronger the spiritual awareness becomes. My child, heaven says both of you are now entering the final stage before meeting. And the final stage is often the most difficult, because resistance becomes stronger when destiny is close. Doubt may appear. Old fears may return. Past disappointments may whisper that nothing good ever lasts. But those whispers are not truth. They are echoes of the past trying to stop the future. If messages like this help you stay spiritually aligned with what God is doing in your life, subscribe and stay connected. Sometimes remaining connected is the act of obedience that keeps you prepared for the season heaven is opening. Because the door connecting both of your lives has already begun to open. And very soon something will happen that brings both of your paths together. A meeting, a message, an unexpected opportunity. And when that moment arrives, everything will begin to make sense. My child, listen carefully now, because what heaven revealed next is extremely important. Every destiny moment arrives within a window of time, a period where circumstances align, hearts become ready, and paths cross at the exact moment they were meant to. That window has now opened. The angels revealed that the connection between you and this man is meant to activate within a specific time frame, within the next 90 days. My beloved, This does not mean everything will happen suddenly or dramatically. Destiny rarely arrives with loud announcements. Most of the time, it unfolds through quiet steps that gradually bring two lives closer together. But heaven says something meaningful will happen within this period that bridges the distance between your world and his. It could come through a message, an introduction, a work opportunity, a meeting arranged by someone who has no idea they are participating in destiny, or a situation that changes the direction of your plans. From the outside, it may appear like coincidence, but in the spiritual realm, it will be the moment when the path between your lives becomes visible. My child, think of destiny like the sunrise. Before the sun appears, the sky begins to change slowly. Darkness fades, light spreads quietly, and suddenly a new day becomes undeniable. That is what is happening in your life right now. The darkness of waiting is beginning to lift. The sky of your future is slowly changing. If you believe a new season is beginning in your life, press like on this video right now. Let that simple action become your agreement that heaven is already shifting things in your favor. Soon the moment will arrive when you realize everything you experienced before was preparing you for what is now entering your life. My beloved, heaven wants you calm and open during this time. Do not rush the process. Do not force anything. Destiny does not require chasing. It requires alignment. When the moment arrives, it will feel natural. You will not feel confused. You will not feel unsure. And when your paths finally cross, something inside your spirit will recognize what heaven has been preparing. My child, before this meeting happens, heaven says there will be a sign, a clear signal that the timeline of your destiny has activated. You will not need to search for it. You will not need to interpret complicated symbols. The sign will be simple. Someone will suddenly speak about wealth, success, or a powerful man entering your life in a way that feels strangely personal. It might happen during a casual conversation. Someone may jokingly say that you will marry someone wealthy. Someone may mention a powerful man connected to your future. Or you may hear someone unexpectedly speak about luxury or influence appearing in your life. When that moment happens, pause for a second, because that is the signal. That is heaven confirming that the timeline has begun moving. My beloved, signs are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to reassure you. They are heaven's gentle way of saying, stay open. What was promised is beginning to unfold. When you notice this sign, you may feel something unusual in your heart. A quiet excitement, a calm confidence, a sense that something meaningful is approaching your life. Trust that feeling. Your intuition is often the first part of you that recognizes destiny. My child, if you believe that God sends signs and guidance when the right moment is near, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your declaration that you are ready for the season heaven is opening. Because when that sign appears, the countdown toward your meeting will begin. Heaven wants you emotionally ready, not afraid, not doubtful, but open to the possibility that something beautiful is entering your life. My beloved, there is something heaven wants to share with you honestly. There is only one thing that could delay this connection. Not another person, not distance, not timing. Doubt. Doubt in yourself. Doubt in your worth. Doubt in the possibility that something beautiful could happen in your life. My child, many people carry invisible beliefs created by past pain. After experiencing heartbreak or rejection, the heart sometimes begins protecting itself by expecting less. It begins whispering thoughts like, things like this don't happen for someone like me. But heaven says that belief was never your truth. It was planted by pain. Imagine a window covered with dust. The sunlight outside never stopped shining, but the dust made it difficult to see the light clearly. Doubt works the same way. It clouds your vision. It makes blessings appear impossible, even when they are already approaching. My beloved, heaven can arrange events. Heaven can open doors. Heaven can guide people into your life. But heaven cannot force your heart to believe that you deserve what is coming. That part belongs to you. You must release the belief that good things only happen to others. You must allow yourself to believe that love, stability, and peace are also meant for you. Because they are. If you believe that God is preparing something better for your future than anything in your past, press like on this video right now. Let that act become your declaration of faith in the life heaven is preparing. My child, the man who is approaching your life is not searching for perfection. He is searching for sincerity. He does not need someone who impresses the world. He needs someone who brings peace into his life. And that is something you already carry. But there is one emotional habit heaven gently warns you about. Your heart has been hurt before. So sometimes when you feel vulnerable, you protect yourself by appearing distant. You may act strong when you are actually afraid. You may appear calm when your heart feels uncertain. You may hide your feelings because you fear being hurt again. This reaction is understandable. But when this man enters your life, he may not always understand those silent signals. If you appear uninterested while protecting your heart, he may think you truly do not care. If you respond with distance while feeling nervous, he may believe you are not interested in knowing him. My beloved, heaven does not ask you to be perfect. It only asks you to be genuine. Allow your heart to remain open when the moment arrives. You do not need to chase him. You do not need to impress him. Simply allow your natural kindness to be visible. If you want to continue receiving messages that strengthen your faith and keep you aligned with what heaven is doing in your life, subscribe and stay connected. Staying connected can sometimes be the very obedience that prepares your heart for the blessing that is coming. Because the peace you carry is exactly what his heart has been searching for. My child, destiny rarely arrives in dramatic ways. Most of the time, the most important moments of our lives appear quietly, disguised as ordinary events. The day you finally meet this man will not feel like a scene from a movie. There will be no loud announcement, no dramatic sign from the sky. Instead, the moment will appear simple. It may happen through a conversation that was not planned, a meeting connected to work, a travel moment, an opportunity introduced by someone who has no idea that heaven arranged that exact encounter long before either of you were born. From the outside, it will appear ordinary. But in the spiritual realm, it will be one of the most meaningful moments of your life. My beloved, the angels say that when he first sees you in person, something unexpected will happen inside him. For a brief moment, his mind will become very quiet. He will not immediately understand why, but a deep stillness will pass through his heart, the kind of stillness that appears when someone recognizes something they have been searching for without realizing it. He will not recognize your face at first, but his soul will recognize the feeling. The same peaceful warmth he experienced in that dream will return. It will feel familiar, comfortable, safe, and that moment may surprise him. Because he is used to feeling cautious around new people, his life has taught him to protect his heart. Yet when he stands near you, something inside him will relax without effort. My child, when two souls that were meant to meet finally stand in the same space, recognition happens quietly. It does not need explanation. It does not require convincing. It simply feels right. He may observe you quietly for a moment, not to judge you, but because he will be trying to understand why your presence feels so calming. And slowly a thought will form inside his mind. This is the person. He may not say those words immediately, but deep inside, the realization will begin to grow. This is the peace he saw in that dream. This is the connection he felt but could never explain. This is the person his heart has been searching for. If you believe that God can bring the right person into your life at the exact moment he has planned, take a moment to like this video. Let that action become your declaration of faith in the destiny heaven is preparing. My beloved, when this connection begins to grow, something beautiful will start happening in both of your lives. Your relationship will not feel like the complicated love stories you experienced before. There will be clarity. There will be honesty. There will be peace instead of confusion. You will not feel like you must chase his attention. You will not feel like you must prove your worth. He will show you clearly that he values your presence. Because a man who has experienced loneliness despite having everything does not play games with the person who finally brings him peace. My child, this relationship is not only about romance. It is about purpose. Both of you will bring something meaningful into each other's lives. He will bring stability, protection, and opportunity into your world. Doors that once seemed impossible may begin opening. Not because you need saving, but because partnership creates strength. And you will bring something equally powerful into his life. You will bring emotional peace, you understanding, a sense of home that he has not felt in many years. Imagine two people bringing different strengths into one life. One brings structure, one brings emotional warmth. Together, they build something stronger than either could create alone. My beloved, heaven says that when this relationship grows, people around both of you will notice the change. They will see calmness in his spirit. They will see confidence in your life. They will see the way both of you support each other. Some may even wonder how two people from different worlds found each other. But heaven will know the answer. Because heaven arranged the meeting long before the moment arrived. My child, if you believe that the love God prepares for your life will bring peace instead of confusion, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your declaration that you receive the love heaven is preparing. My beloved, before this message ends, there is one final truth heaven wants you to remember. The blessing that is approaching your life was never random. It was written. Every moment of your past prepared you for this chapter. Every tear you cried became a seed planted in your future. Every disappointment shaped the strength of your heart. And now the harvest of that patience is beginning to appear. There may have been times when you wondered if real love would ever find you. Times when happiness felt far away. Times when it seemed like everyone else was moving forward while your life remained quiet. But heaven never forgot you. Heaven never overlooked your kindness. Heaven never ignored the loyalty inside your heart. Sometimes blessings take longer to arrive because they are being prepared carefully. And what is being prepared for you is not temporary happiness. It is a connection that will change the direction of your life. My child, the angels are still watching over this path. They are guiding events quietly. They are protecting the connection that is moving toward you. And when the moment finally arrives, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. Because the love that is coming will not bring confusion. It will bring peace. It will not bring fear. It will bring security. It will not make you question your worth. It will remind you of it every day. My beloved, your life is entering a new chapter. Even if you cannot see every step clearly yet, heaven is already arranging things behind the scenes. Remain open, remain patient, remain hopeful, because the future that once felt impossible is slowly becoming real. My beloved, if this message touched your heart, share it with someone who may need this encouragement today. When you share a prophetic message, you extend the blessing beyond your own life. And heaven often multiplies the favor that flows through those who spread hope. And one day, when you look back at this moment, you may realize something beautiful. This message was not simply words. It was the beginning of the chapter where destiny quietly began to unfold in your life.